It says live.
Yeah, I see that. Yeah, it's saying live. I'm just trying to see if it's popping up on my. Yep, there we go. It's on my Twitch now. Oh Jesus, this is what we've been waiting for this whole time. Hello, Ben. How are you doing today?
Hello, Josh. I'm good, my guy. I grew a mustache for you on this special occasion. Literally shaved here. Yeah, man. I'm just happy to be here with you. I've got my little backdrop here for you, my Moby Dick backdrop. You'll see it on our streams when you and me play a few games.
Oh yeah.
And you brought your own smoke machine. I love it.
Yeah, and I got my little Octane little banner right here. Got
Love that.
my random little lamp that's always here
Yeah.
with me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good.
How are you doing today, man? So we've known each other for a minute, for a good solid minute.
Mm-hmm.
I'd say that we're considered good friends.
I would say so. We've been people at home. The story is that Josh and I met in game just randomly, and Josh got the dub. I was knocked. He picked me up a couple of times, so he got the dub. And I knew that I was going to be fused, but I couldn't tell anyone that I was going to be fused. So we developed an organic game of friendship, and then I don't even know how long ago that was. That was months ago, right?
Yeah, I think it was like maybe a little bit before halfway through the season.
Yeah.
Like it was right before before the split for ranked in season 7.
Yeah. And a question for you first up is when Fuse came out and I could finally tell you to finally tell you who I was. What were your thoughts?
Oh, dude, my thoughts. Oh, Jesus. So it was a kind of a surreal kind of like moment. I was just like, no, you're not. No, you're not. Because I remember like a couple weeks before that, I was like, hey, I just want to give you a heads up because like we had talked about you being a voice actor, and I was like, hey, the next legend might not be Blisk or Ash, but it might be this third party dude named Fuse, and he's Australian, and I knew you're Australian, and I was just like, hey, maybe you could talk to your agent, and maybe they could hook you up. And you're just like, oh yeah,
I'll look into that. Yeah. In the meantime, I'd recorded the trailer. I'd recorded all the voice lines like 6 months before that. Like I recorded those back in August. And that was funny. And then who was playing with us at the time? And she was like, so what does it take to like audition for a character? And I'm like, well, I think it goes a little something like this. And Josh is jumping in. He's like, yeah, well, I think it probably goes a little something more like this. And I'm like, yeah, I think I know, but I couldn't be like, I definitely know how to book Fuse. But man, we had a lot of fun. And then I think I got a lot better at the game playing with you and like just understanding the game a lot better. And you've got you know the lore, more than I do, especially around your favorite characters. But yeah, man, it's been a pleasure, honestly.
Yeah, I appreciate that, man. It's always nice to play with. It was hilarious because it literally was so random. Like it was completely by accident that we met and we ended up just like hitting it off and playing.
I gotta say, I do remember the end game of the first time we met, and that was. And it's funny that I was knocked. I was knocked at the bottom of this building, and it was like final circle. And Josh was on the roof with a G7, just like farming for like damage because we were up against this it wasn't a 3 stack. Like there was a team of 3, and we had 2 of us were up. And I was like, look, don't get me. My guy over here drops a mobile respawn, picks me up. In the meantime, I'm like, what value can I offer in this situation? I have no weapons. There's nothing around. I literally drop down onto just bullet a gate sort of stuff. Drop down, run at this guy. I think I get one melee hit on our enemy teammate. That's it. And then Josh cleans up and we win the game. And I'm just like, that's my guy.
Exune 123, thanks for your question. They want to know, do you work with Apex? Like, do you work at Apex?
I don't go into the building. I'm not a Respawn employee, so I'm a voice artist. I have an agent. When they're looking for voice talent, they go to they put out a brief for someone, and then you go through a whole process of the audition. And then if you're lucky enough to book a role like this, then you get introduced to the team, and then you're predominantly working with voice director, usually writers, in this case Eric and Amanda, I'm sorry, Sam and Amanda. The voice director is a guy called Eric Kraber.
Oh yeah, that's who they named the sniper gun after.
And then you meet a lot of people along the way. So obviously with COVID, I wasn't able to go in and like hang out with anyone, but then there's a lot of Zoom calls and a lot of online stuff. You know, some of the trailer stuff happened right in this booth. Like this is the same mic that the trailer, the Voice of Fuse came out of. And so I do a lot of my work out of this 3x5 box. Like literally, I think I tweeted about, I couldn't say what the project was, but I literally had like, for the trailer, I literally had full mocap stuff on, full face dots that I had to hand paint on, and like cameras and like 3 laptops in here, and it's like 110 degrees in here, and I'm walking out, "G'day, Kings Canyon!" Like, "Hey, Kings Canyon!" Like literally 3 feet in front of me. But that's, you know, that's one of the blessings of this game, not the game of Apex, but the game of voice acting, is that you can. I'm blessed to be able to do my work from home. Yeah, I think that answers the question, doesn't it?
You started cutting out just a little bit at the end, right there.
Okay. I think I was just saying that's the blessing of voice acting.
I feel you. Hell yeah. What's it called? It's crazy because you voiced General Hux in the Lego Star Wars video game.
Yeah, and Star Wars Resistance season 2, there was a storyline with Hux. Yeah.
Yeah, dude, it's so crazy because you don't really realize, what's it called? You don't really realize how much of like a impact you'll have from those video games, and then like if you end up meeting the person that voiced those characters later on, it's even crazier because I remember you were like, "Oh yeah, I'm a voice actor. I did General Hux," and I was like, "General Hux, the ginger."
They actually gave me this. This is my inspiration in my booth, because Hux was the first. When I came to LA, I was doing a few little games here and there. Here's my guy.
Oh, beautiful.
When I came to LA, I was doing a few. Look, I was really hustling. Like I was a voice of Mazda in Australia. I'd done a lot of voice work on radio, TV. Plus, in Australia, I was like a theater actor, and I was doing film and TV. It's such a small market over there that you have to do everything, and so you become quite versatile. But when I came over here, I was hustling. Like I think before I booked Hux, I'd done a few little things. But when I booked Hux, I was like, oh, maybe I'll be able to make it. It was only a few sessions for Hux. But yeah, I fell off my chair. I was like, now I feel like I can make a go of it here. And then I think pretty soon after that, because I play Patroclus in Hades as well. So pretty soon after that, I booked that. And so I was like, I can. And then another thing that's currently shooting, I can't talk about, came up, and I was like, oh, okay, I actually think I can make a go of it here. So literally sort of really I'm living the dream. And it's been 4 years. I think I was 800 auditions before I booked Hux. So I was really just trying to get in the door, trying to put down good tapes, auditioning for, you know, American characters, Australian characters, British characters. So I'm a bit I'm good with accents, right? I've got a good ear. I've got a good instrument for delivering accents. But you know, with Fuse is literally like my accent is like literally me. If I was like a bit more of a, I don't know, like not even an alpha, wouldn't even say an alpha, but a bit more of a like a knockabout sort of Aussie larrikin. That's Fuse. So I know a lot of Fuses. I've been around a lot of Fuses in my life. So I was just like channeling them.
Channeling them is just like, oh god, you have like all of the energy from all of the Fusees out in Australia.
And then, you know, what kind of happened through the process is that, okay, they were like Sam and I would like write an alternative line that was like some Australian slang, and then like somewhere along the way there was this sort of idea of Fuse being more of an avuncular, more of an uncle character, because he's a bit older than everyone else, and so, you know, he has the relationships that he has with all of the legends. Australians, we're pretty happy-go-lucky. We can get on with most people, but if you cross us, we can be pretty gnarly as well. And he's the same way, but there's also a softness to him, and that kind of started to show through when when people started talking about his sexuality. Is like, you don't just want an alpha dude to just come in and just be a alpha, like, cis white dude. It's kind of fucking boring.
Yeah.
And because Apex is such a great game in terms of representation, it was like, all right, where's the softness? Where's the softness to Fuse in a game where people are like shooting each other? Other people are like, there's a big blow up on Twitter about it the other day. People are like, well, what does it matter what the character is? The reason it matters as to what the character is because if I'm in a world where I'm in a minority in any shape or form, race, creed, like religion, whatever, it's very hard to feel represented, and it's very hard to intrinsically feel like you belong in the world, and therefore you have a voice and you have the right to be a human and the right to pursue happiness, right? Even though it's still popular culture, it's still a piece of drama. Like, of course, if you're watching a movie, do you want your characters to just be like vanilla people? No, because there's no conflict there. There's no interest. It's not interesting. So I think what the Respawn guys, the team there, have done has just been incredible in terms of just trying to represent everyone and bring everyone in and kill each other, like in the nicest possible way. So anyway, I digress because that's really important to me. But yeah, I think there's a lot to Fuse that I hope comes through in a lot of the voice lines, and it's going to come through in the lore, and certainly has come out online with the stuff that we've been posting about him. Because Respawn and I have a really close relationship between the writers and Respawn and me, and so it's in my contract to be able to represent my character online in things like this, in my stream, on Twitter, and I just think it really adds to the experience.
Yeah. I don't think anyone could have said that any better. So Exune123 wants to know. I think they're asking about the ult, but they said if you like Fuse's ult.
The mother load. Okay, so full disclosure, I happen to just have had a baby, and like I was playing this game flat out, and then like the baby came like the day before launch day. So I've only been able to play the game 3 times, but I've obviously done all the voice lines. I've been privy to what the ult was. So I say that because I haven't had a chance to think about what the ult is good at. But outside of this, the interesting thing about the ult is it's a ring of fire. So you match that with a caustic, or you match that with a bang or a Gibby,
or Horizon.
Or Horizon. Her ult takes on a whole new meaning. You get this really interesting effect. But then I'm also thinking in terms of, like, say, a Gibby bubble. It's like the exact dimensions, I think, to go over a Gibby bubble. So then what does that do in terms of people pushing in and out of a bubble to shoot in and out and using that cover? It can be shot indoors if the roof is high enough. You can spam your own grenades inside of it. So I think he's. I think I saw it online. Someone said he's the best offensive defensive character, if that makes sense. Like, you can really go forward. People, if you're trying to escape, you just drop your turd out the back, and no one's chasing you. So I haven't had enough time to play with it, but I already think it's good meta.
Heck yeah, man! Heck yeah. And then Prinster21, he said he wants to see if you will say his gamer tag and be like, "What are you doing, mate?" in the Fuse voice.
What's his gamer tag?
Prinster21.
Prinster21. What are you doing, mate?
And then he also asked, "How do you feel about Fuse's hitbox?"
No idea. Is he have a big hitbox? I don't know. You tell me, Joe.
I played one game with him, and I got absolutely shredded.
He's not as big as Caustic or Gibby. No way.
Yeah, no, he's not. He's definitely not. He's not a thick boy.
Yeah.
But I feel like his hitbox, just because of, like, I don't know if the hitbox is affected by, like, the clothes that they have on the Legends. I'm looking right at him right now. But I think, like, arm shots and, like, chest shots, those would be a little bit easy, and definitely leg shots, because his skin does expand out a bit, so that does and can affect the hitbox, I'm guessing. So Yeah.
I actually think I don't have a problem with it if it turns out that like I wouldn't want them to nerf his abilities just yet. Obviously, he already feels strong out of the box, and so if he needs to have a slightly bigger hitbox in order to be a really good range and like sort of grenadier style player, I'm actually okay with it. I wouldn't want him to have like. I wouldn't want him to have it like a GB hitbox and not have what do they call it, the fortified. Like that wouldn't be right.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
he's fast enough. Like he's relatively agile. And yeah, I mean, it seems like he's got such a good kit that if you didn't have if he had like a Wraith hitbox, it'd be like ridiculous. People would be like, you've broken the game. But I think if his hitbox is bigger and like, yeah, I played, I actually played with Zeus. My first ever game was with Zeus. And so there's a couple of Aussies just let loose. And Zeus was frying. And I think I got a couple of, I don't even know if he's put the video up yet, but I think I got like 1,000 damage and 1 kill. And he's like, we didn't even win the game, but I didn't get a sense of whether I was getting fried more or less. But I was also like super tired. I just like, had no sleep. So I was like, I'm just playing like junk right now. But yeah, man, I'm okay with hitbox. What does that person think?
What do you guys think about Fuse's hitbox? So going back to like how we played a while, you've had a plethora of favorite guns to use. You've gone from the wingman to the triple take to the hemlock and the flatline, mostly heavy guns. But what do you think your best like loadout in your opinion is? Like you use this loadout and you know for a fact you're gonna win.
Well, I never know for a fact I'm gonna win.
Well, you get the feeling that you're gonna win, okay? You're like, no one's gonna stop me now.
I love the hemlock. I cut my teeth on the hemlock. It was the first firing pattern that I sort of got used to. It does change all the time, and it changes in game to game. I do love a hemlock G7 when I've spent some time in the firing range. Although, having said that, I've started to fall in love with the Volt. I like that they've buffed the alternator. I think that's an interesting short range gun. And I mean, you and I were sort of jousting in the firing range, and I really started to get used to the wingman as well. So
you were murking me every 5 seconds with the wingman.
The 3030 is obviously Fusy's gun, like, and I love a G7, so it might become like a hemlock 3030, or like I mean, I've just never gotten used to the R9, never gotten used to the Volt. Maybe like a Volt 3030 might become a good loadout. But they nerfed the Volt, right? They took it down a point in damage.
I think so. I haven't looked at the patch notes yet, but I'm pretty. Yeah. I think they definitely nerfed it a little bit.
Dude, if I was PC and like if I could fry with the R9, it'd be R9 3030. Because I reckon that 3030 could act like a short, like a close range gun, right?
Oh yeah, I've literally been using the 3030 a lot, and it's definitely got its perks. And when it hip fires, it's insane.
Okay.
Like like if I've already got this dude broken down, hip fire, one shot, boom, he's done. And it's crazy how much damage it does. Yeah. If you get a single headshot, broken armor, and then all you need is maybe another like solid good shot, or like maybe even 2 shots to knock him.
Yeah.
I literally did it earlier, and it was absolutely insane.
I'm also forgetting about the Spitty. Oh my god! Like you know that I've been picking up that Spitty, getting the purple mag on there, and just like when I'm playing like dog crap, that's the gun that like is like my salve. I can literally pick that thing up and just like it's boring. It's a boring gun if for not a great player. Yeah. But I think like hip fire with the Spitty, and I think they buffed that this Spitty with like a gold mag.
I think they definitely buffed the Spitty mainly because like whenever I use a Spitty, it's like, all right, it shoots a little slow. Whenever someone else shoots it, it shoots like an R9 on crack. But what's it called? It looks like the chat saying like a lot of people are saying like the mobility for Fuse, and then like some of them just don't have a good grip on them yet. So it's probably like that little area where you have to warm up to the new legend, kind of like whenever a new legend comes out, and especially since there's a new map. There's people that are playing as Fuse, but also trying to get used to this new map. Some people get used to it fast, but it really just depends. But Fuse, as far as I know, great legend, 10 out of 10, insane OP. Oh my god.
Yeah, I've been really happy with how he's been received.
Hell yeah, man. He's been killing the game in the past couple days. And literally the one day that he's been out, so 2 days as of today that he's been out. And it looks like everyone's agreeing with the alternator. They're saying the alternator hits a little bit harder than the Volt now, man.
Interesting. Hey, tell me about the other hop up. I haven't been around the game long enough. The Anvil. What does that do?
Oh, dude, the Anvil receiver. That is a throwback. So basically, it goes on the. So basically, someone already has a 3,000 kills with Fuse in 2 days.
What?
Okay. Yeah, someone just put it in the chat. But the Anvil receiver is absolutely insane, especially when you use it on single fire. So it goes on the flatline and the R301, but you have to in order to work, you have to put the gun on single fire, and it basically turns it into a semi-automatic sniper. And it takes double the ammo, so like one shot is actually 2 bullets, but it does double the damage, and it is insane. You put it 2 times or 3 times on a 301 or a flatline with the Anvil receiver, and it does insane amount of damage.
More than like a G7?
Yeah. Yes, definitely more than a G7.
Wow. All right, I'll gotta check that out.
It's absolutely OP, and it makes sense why they took it out of the game. But I'm so glad they brought it back, because if you put that on, like I said, the flatliner and the 301, you will be melting kids. Like, you're gonna be melting people. But let's move on into a bit of the lore. What can you tell us about this? About the upcoming lore, if you can.
Upcoming lore. What can I tell you? All I can tell you is I've got a session coming up next month that is going to do a couple of different things with Fuse. Obviously, there's like update lines that they get, but then there's kind of a special project in the works for him that is content related. Taps into one element of his personality that hasn't really been looked at and was in the trailer, and that's about all I can say, because it might not even happen, but like, yeah, if it happens, it'll be something I've never actually done for a character before, and so that's a big tease, isn't it? But yeah, I'm pretty excited about. I've already started like preparing for this thing, so.
Oh God! And then
they're so agile, you know. They're like, all right, we're thinking about this for Fuse. What do you think about that? And then like EA Australia reached out to me, and they're like, okay, well, he's an Aussie character. Can we do this with that? And I'm like, hell yeah! And they're like, okay, so China's doing this. Can we do this with that? So they're always thinking about how they can reach out to the fan base and reach out to new markets. And that's the most bizarre thing, is because like I know this character inside and out, and we created him together, and now he's kind of his own myth now. It's sort of, there are going to be people who understand his lore way better than me, even though I'm in the midst of it and I'm in the midst of creating it. It's like, yeah, it's even, and especially the subject of his sexuality and the discussion that came out on Twitter. If you don't already follow me, I'm at Benji P, BenJIPEA, on Twitter, and
everyone go follow him on Twitter. And everyone, by the way, make sure to go follow this man on Twitch. He has some pretty good content. Plus, he's Australian.
Yeah,
come on, everyone loves a good accent.
You get free Fuse lines with every stream.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah, but I can't remember what I was saying. But yeah, what was I saying?
You were saying about sexuality.
Yeah, and I think if you go on my Twitter and look at that conversation, there was like 300 or 400 like replies or comments on that thing, and it's really educative, and it's kind of interesting to me, because you're like, it's just a computer game, but at the same time, it's not. Like, people used to be like, oh well, it's just a film, but it's not. There are films out there that have like formed people's opinions on things, and like made people like more open, or made people more bigoted, depending on the film. But yeah, that's just really important to me, man. Like, it's why I used to do theater rather than like TV and film, because theater really does look into the issues, and it's with an audience.
You broke up a little bit there.
Yeah, hang on a second. I think we're good. Yeah, I might actually just turn this off over here. 1 second, my guy. Is that okay? We're good. You got me now?
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm just replying, telling this person what your Twitter and Twitch is. There you go. I totally agree with you on all of that. Heck yeah, because it's insane. Because when I was a kid, I couldn't play video games all the time because video games rot your brain and everything.
Yeah, right.
Everything that you're told about video games, and video games are bad. GTA is a bad example, and all of this. But it's crazy to look at where we used to be when it came to video games to where we are now, and how, like, back when I was a kid, you really couldn't make a living playing video games. Like, you couldn't. There wasn't a platform like Twitch or anything like that to where you could make a living just playing video games as a pro like that.
Yeah.
But video games have blown up and expanded so much that people can pay their bills and touch other people's lives and stuff like that, and form a community just based off of one video game alone and just off of one stream. It's extremely insane how much video games have evolved, and then even just the legends, but the characters in these games. Some of them can touch your heart. Some of them can make you feel really sad and angry. It's just really crazy how video games have evolved over the years.
Yeah. I mean, and that's for a good reason, I think. I mean, at least which is the last year, and everyone's sort of being stuck at home, and it's sort of given us all, like, at the start of the pandemic, I was playing Red Dead Redemption, like, flat out, just so I could go outside. Cruising around on my horse.
Going down the Old Town Road.
It was Old Town Road on my horse, Arnold Schwarzenegger. And then my boys are like in Australia, and so we would actually be playing Red Dead, a bit of Fortnite, and then Apex when that rolled around. We were playing that as our like nightly like catch up on the phone, because they're in Australia, I'm in LA. It's like this whole year has been about like us catching up in video games. I'm like, the power of that to connect people is like. And then you look at the content creators and everyone. This is the thing I really like about this medium. You have content creators that get huge, right? You've got Ninja making whatever 10 million, whatever it is a year, right? They send the elevator back down. And what I mean by that is like they involve themselves in their community, and they, like someone like Kobe, who like has a charity, or he like gives out, like just gives stuff back to the fans. Even the voice artists, we do like signings, or we like have conversations, or I'll drop into a game with like a bunch of randoms and like just freak them out. Like I think it's a really interesting medium, and it's actually closer to theater for me, which is why I think I've really kind of really dug being in this universe, than even film and TV, where you can be, if you get hot in a film or TV and you're like, Sean Penn, you go crazy, because it's all fake. It's all fake. In terms of like how people react to you, how people talk to you. Whereas I think the level of connection that happens with this game and with this fan base is something else. Like, it's just a little more real.
Yeah. That's what I understand. Yeah. So I really do appreciate it whenever I see a content creator, or basically anyone that's in a higher status or anything like that, and they remember where they came from. Like, they don't forget, like, hey, I used to grow up on the streets, and now I have like a $5 million house. So I'm going to give back to a charity, because I'm not going to forget where I came from. And that's one of the things I really do appreciate when it comes to people that do make it big, and whether it be video games or acting or anything like that. I always like really appreciate and respect the hell out of that whenever people don't forget where their roots are.
Yeah.
So there is someone in the chat.
I just love how you laugh before every question. I'm like, all right, here we go.
Because some of them are funny. But someone in the chat, I know you and me have talked about this before, about how you and the guy who voices Revenant, how you guys are basically neighbors.
Yeah. He lives 2 minutes from my house. We haven't gone for that walk yet because life got in the way, but we will. So there's a little lake up by my house. It's this weird little man-made lake called Deb's Pond. It's the strangest thing in the sort of East LA. You go up this trail, and then you get to the top of this mountain, and like there's this little lake. It's ridiculous. And he lives right by that. So I was like, "Oh, let's go for a hike up to Deb's Pond sometime." And he's like, "Oh, I'd love that." And then I just thought about the context of that, and like, people. I'm sure he doesn't sound like Revenant when he's walking along a trail, as I don't really sound like Fuse, like a little bit, but yeah.
You don't just see a random Australian and you're like, "Are you Fuse?"
Yeah, right. Well, yeah, even Zeus was saying he's already had a few people ask him if he's Fuse, and he's like Zeus, like. So it doesn't surprise
Oh, that
me.
would have been insane. That would have been insane if he would have ended up being Fuse. Oh god,
Yeah.
It's that would have been crazy.
The mind boggles. Yeah.
Yeah. It's so I know that there's been talk about the next collection event coming up in Apex, and I don't know if you would probably know this, but I'm hearing conflicting things. I'm hearing there's going to be an heirloom. I'm hearing that there's not going to be an heirloom. They're just going to give you shards instead. I'm pretty sure I'm leaning more towards that one, but someone wanted to know if you know if Bangalore is going to get the heirloom.
Oof.
This season.
Truthfully, I don't. I do, and yeah, we had talked about it. If I had to guess, she was probably next in line. And then when the BLM protests happened, it just seemed off-brand to have. If her heirloom was something in the realms of law enforcement, it would have just been a weird and wrong time to do it.
You keep breaking up again.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So I'm just like,
You just do that when that happens. What did you hear up to?
Shoot. You said
anyway. It's like
basically you thought that she's gonna probably be the next one.
Yeah, and I think at the time, I actually don't know. I'm not like trying to make shit up, but like I think at the time when the BLM protests happened, people were saying hers was going to come out, and I think the GB one came out, right?
Yeah, it was going to be like some kind of like baton or something like that.
Like a police
yeah,
baton.
But it wasn't even. It was going to be like a Tomfa.
Oh, okay.
Which is like a similar kind of thing. It's like it's an actual martial arts kind of thing. It's like a bar, like a piece of wood, and then like a handle on it.
Okay. Oh, okay. Yeah. So yeah. All right. And I understand the reasons for not doing it. I love that she's gotten some love in this season 8, along with Mila's character Lifeline. Yeah. I don't know what the answer is. I don't know what that heirloom is. I don't know when it's coming out. I don't know if it's going to be at the collection event. But I hope it's soon because I love Bang. I don't play as Bang, but like I just love that.
I'm gonna say I remember that we were all. It was you, me, and Daria. We were playing this one time, and I had accidentally got Bangalore, and I was just like, "Why?" And then we won, I won with like 8 kills, and I was just like, "What happened?"
Yeah. Well, you look at Shiv play her. He's just like that's just next level stuff. He's playing a different game. But I think on Olympus, it became pretty quickly evident that it's a range-based map, and so if you can get between A and B with and there's no cover, if you've got that cover of that smoke, she's just like a really good character to play on Olympus, and that was like main map, and and then
it's really annoying playing against a Bangalore on Olympus.
Yeah. So
if you had to pick any YouTuber any YouTuber at all to play Apex with, who would it be? Like the one that you really want to play with?
Well, look, I've got so many favorites. All right. Okay, so I already played with Kobe. That was a laugh. I really love that guy. I love what he's about. Any YouTuber in the Apex world?
Yeah.
Okay. I want to play with. I want to have a game with Deltouche. I've already played with Janks. Janks was probably up there for me. As Janks so far is now up there on my. I'm just going to name names. So far, want to play with Deltouche. Want to play with Lulu. Want to play with Candy Crew. Want to play with who am I forgetting? I absolutely love Staycation. So we're definitely going to have a game.
Hey man, I'm telling you, when that happens, just let me know, man.
Yeah, all right.
I'll be a solid third, okay?
Well, he's going to take your Octane, isn't he?
Does he play Octane? I thought he's a crypto main.
Oh, is he?
Yeah,
I've seen him play a bunch of Octane games, but yeah, look, man, whatever. We can spread the love. Yeah, name some other popular YouTubers that I haven't named. I think the thing with some of the pro players is I guess that playing with them isn't going to be as enjoyable for me or for the stream or for the purpose for anyone really, because they're such good players. It's just going to be about them just like clearing a map.
Yeah.
But like I really vibe with Sofar's energy. Crazy Ratchet is another one. Really love to play with him. I really dig what he's been doing. Jenks, that was already so much fun. I played with my son and Jenks in a lobby. That was sick. We're talking about like Tom, my son's like college aspirations. It was just like, it was totally chill. Love the creators. And then, you know, there are game devs who I'm like looking forward to jumping in with. Like I'm going to jump in with Sam Gill, who's the writer of Fuse. We're going to have a few games. Then I've got friends back in Australia who just like pop up and they're like, are you Fuse? Like, let's play a game. So there's like old friends who like happen to play Apex who had no idea what I was doing over here. That's fun. And then the other thing that I'm super interested in is I want to go through some of the players who I just added to my friends list who I played like a game or two with. And like, I was planting the seeds for like 3 or 4 months. Like, oh, what do you think about like an Australian character? Like, would you vibe with that? Like, what do you think the next legend should be? And like, when the rumors came out, I'm like, what do you think of this Fuse guy? Like, he seems like a jerk. And then I want to make some content of me jumping on with them and then not saying anything and just like, I did it the other day to a guy, Suluwo, who I think he used to stream. Anyway, so we'd played a bunch of games. Obviously didn't know who I was, and I invited him the other day, and we had a game. And it was actually yesterday. It was one of the 3 games that I played, and I was like, "Oh, hey, what do you think of this new guy?" And he's like, "Yeah, well, you know, I'll tell you about his ult, and I'll tell you about his tactical, and blah blah blah." And as a bit of backstory, I'd played a game with him, and he got his first 20 bomb in like 18 months or something. And he's like vibing. He's like, "Man, I'm gonna add you as my friend, like, because you got me my first 20 bomb in a while." I was like, yeah, cool. Let's play, let's play after February 2nd. And and then we jumped on yesterday. And I was like, I'm gonna stop you there. Maybe I'm gonna stop you there. It's great that you want to tell me about Fuse's tacticals and what you think of his character, but like, what do you think of that voice actor? And he's like, what do you mean? I'm like, oh, he's a bit of, what do you think of him? Is he good or not? And he's like, wait, say that again. And I was like, what do you think of this voice actor, mate? Tell me what you really think, eh? And he's like, are you fucking kidding me? And he gets his mate on the phone. He's like, Rich, I'm on the phone. I'm on the voice with the voice of Fuse, and I can hear in the background, you're full of shit. There's no way that's the voice of Fuse. Blah, blah. He's like, say something. Anyway, I'm enjoying those kinds of interactions more than I am like interviewing with like some of the major outlets. So
yeah, man, that's gonna be insane. I can't even imagine how funny that's gonna be. Oh god, just make a whole entire YouTube series.
Yeah. And and playing with like any YouTuber I've left out, like I'm down. I'm down for you to teach me about the game. And I'm a student of this game now. I think it's a wonderful game. Like the mechanics are really good. The meta is really great. When I'm just got a lot of time for the game, and it's it's surreal. It's surreal. I thought I'd struggle more with being the voice and playing as Fuse than what I did, because when you do the voice lines, they're quite loud and they're sort of very present, but in game they're sort of tempered down. So it's not like you're listening to yourself. I will say though, when I was playing with Zeus, I was getting confused because he was playing Fuse and he was pinging things, and I was trying to talk to him as Ben playing Horizon, and then I was like, am I got an echo? Like I just couldn't concentrate on the game. So yeah.
Oh god, that's funny. What inspired you to want to come to the States, and then how did you come across Fuse and Apex Legends, and like how did you come into the community? Like what inspired you to want to do all this?
Well, I was an actor in Australia. I'd had a bit of success with a lot of film and TV, and was doing a bit of voiceover, and had a lot more success in theater. The problem with that is, in a country like Australia, it's not financially sound. Like, I can safely say that I was one of the leads that you would go to in Melbourne for my type in any theater show. So So in that world, like I had a profile, I had a name, but like literally was making like 10 grand a year if I was lucky. But you know, when I was doing film or TV, there'd be a bit of bank. And then I was like, look, I'd always planned to come over to the States. I'd literally played American characters on stage and in film already. I was like, all right, I'm going to come to LA and make a go of it. And literally, my partner was already over here. I came over, tried to get representation, and then started auditioning commercially in film and TV. Booked a little thing on Preacher and shot that. And then started doing a lot more voice auditions because I had the background of that and was trying to pick up work. And then, yeah, just I really find with voice, it's sort of really aligning with what I want to do as an artist. So these opportunities that come through because I have a top tier agent now just means I can bring my skill set as an actor more into these higher profile AAA games or like the games like Apex. And so that's coming up a lot for me. And it's like a lane that I can swim in, that I know what I'm doing. I feel I'm pretty good at it, and I can sort of build my profile that way. So part of it is like artistic, part of it is like financial survival. And you know, I always thought I was going to move to America. I always thought from a very young age I was going to live in America, and it was acting that brought me here. So I'm really grateful. Yeah, I'm super grateful. I still like get back to Australia when I can. I've got family, friends there. Still go back to do some shows sometimes. But yeah, man, just find what you love and let it kill you.
That's a quote for a T-shirt right there.
I think Bukowski said that.
Find what you love and let it kill you. That's a good quote for a T-shirt. That needs to be on a T-shirt. That's going to be your quote from now on. So yeah, hashtag deep. Yeah. What's it called? So how exactly did you hear about Apex and like find out about this new upcoming legend that you were gonna audition for? And like how did, like, when you got the news that you got it, were you just like, yeah, or were you just like, oh yeah?
No, it's definitely. My agent has this great way of letting me know when I've booked a big role, and he'll just call me, and his name's Dean Panero, and he's like, Ben, you know, how you doing, bud? And the thing is, he very rarely calls me unless I've got some issues that I'm trying to work through or there's something big. And he's like, Ben, how you doing, bud? So you're going to be the next legend on Apex Legends. No. That's not how it happened. He said, because they always use code words and all these things. So I never know. I can guess what the game is, but you know, they had a code word. I don't want to say the name of it, but it was like, you know, say it was like, Delicious, right? The code name for the game was Delicious. So you get this audition for Delicious, and the character is this like Australian grenadier. His name's Diesel, so you don't even know the name. And and he says things like, "Yeah, it's time to rock and load," right? And so you see on the paper, it's time to rock and load, and I come in, I'm like, it's time to rock and load, right? It's nothing like Fuse, right? So I then go deeper, and I'm like, who is he? Where's he come from? Who is he most like? There's a whole process I go through with any character. So eventually, you know, his voice line has to come down a bit deeper because he's actually, you know, a little bit kind of cooler, and he's kind of a bit more gruff, and he's older than me, you know, because I'm only 45. And then he's probably a bit more like a 70s, like Aussie kind of bloke, but he's also kind of kind. Yeah. So we're going to be best friends about it. So then at the end, you kind of end up like, it's time to rock and load. And that's how Fuse comes out. So I audition. A month or two later, I get this call, and they're like, "Hey, they want you to come back for a callback. It's a session like this. They're getting me to do lines. They're like, all right, can you make him more like this? Can you make him more like that? Can we try this line? Can you do this? What are your availabilities like?" That's always the best question for an actor. When someone's like, "Oh, what are your availabilities like?" You're like, "Oh, fuck yes, I think I'm doing well with this." And then you don't hear anything for another month. And like this happens at any one time. There's probably, honestly, about 50 auditions that I have out in the wild that I haven't heard about. So you kind of let it go. It's like, all right, that Delicious project, it's in the back of my mind, like, but there's like another 8 auditions today, right? So it's like, if I book something, great. Anyway, so Dean will call me, "Hey, how you doing, bud? So you booked the role." Oh, and I'm not gonna have to take another step back, because when I researched the role, I'm like, okay, Australian demolitions expert. I won't reveal the code name, but the code name kind of sounds like a Batman like property. And so I looked that up, and it comes back with what's his name? Captain
Kangaroo
Kangaroo.
Jack.
Captain Kangaroo, who's in the Marvel universe, predominantly in the chat will know, but anyway, so I know that role's already been played by an Aussie character, and so I start going down the path of what that character is. It's super complex. Hey, how you doing, bud? So you booked the role of Diesel. Congratulations, you're going to be a legend. And I'm like, great. Well, what's the project? Because I thought,
so what is it? I don't even know what I did.
Arkham Knight, like some Arkham Knight game. I was like, sick. I've booked a big game. I knew it was a big game. He's like, it's Apex Legends, bud. Now, I knew of Apex Legends. My sons play it. I'd seen it out in the wild, but then I was just like, all right, like straight to Google, straight to YouTube, try and work that out. We're talking about April, May. Auditioning in May, June callback, July get the news, August record. So it's like 4 months of 4 months of anticipation. And then by the time you walk into the studio, you better be ready to go, because if you can't drop like 4,000 lines over 4 days, then like if your voice gives out or you're not ready, you're not mentally prepared for where you want this character to go, what often happens is it just becomes this middling kind of sort of safe character, and that's not what you want either. So dude, it's a whole process. I have my 10,000 hours doing it, but I'm happy to talk about it. But how I felt about it when he told me was like, all right, I think it was the third key role that I booked in America, and I was like, all right, I think I can make it now. Yeah.
Sick, man. Once again, congratulations, man. And I like Uso. Oh, Uso. I can't tell you how proud I am of you, man. I'm so happy that you got this opportunity and everything. What's it called? How do you do voice training? Oh, so they want to know, what's it called? How do you prepare for these roles? Like for being able to drop all these lines, and then like, do you do voice training, or do you just take water with you, or like?
So the practicalities of it, if I'm walking into a booth, I always bring my own cans. I have these cans. I walk with them everywhere because like you don't want to use studio cans because like someone else's cans can give you an infection. I always bring my own water.
I think your voice is going through those actually.
You're kidding me.
No, I think so. Yeah. Yeah, it's going through that.
No, but wait a second. You're hearing that, but they're hearing this.
Yeah.
Yeah, good.
I'm hearing this too. I'm hearing your like actual mic in front of you, but like when you pulled up the mic to your face, it was like a lot clearer. So I was like, oh.
No, that's why I took them off, because like I was getting confused. Yeah, like there's a lot of tricks. I think you gotta have. So yes, voice training is essential, and that's whole instrument. That happens in acting school, or you go and see a vocal coach, because you need longevity. And so longevity is about not blowing your voice out with like lots of screaming, or if you have to scream, there's a certain way you can scream where it doesn't hurt your voice. And then there's management. It's taking breaks, it's sips of water. Green apples help to stop any phlegm and like mouth noises, because a lot of times with voice actors, when they first come to this game, you get a lot of gross mouth noises that you actually just eventually you just like get rid of. You don't actually do them. I don't know how that happens, but I'm also vegan, so I don't take dairy. Dairy sucks for voice artists because dairy just like creates extra phlegm, and you sound like different, and your voice tires in a different way. And
well, it looks like I'm never going to be a voice actor. I love milk too much.
Love your milk, man. Get onto some oat milk. Oat milk is sick.
Yeah, maybe.
Anyway, whatever. you do you. And then the other thing is the whole acting training. So going to a good acting school, or like getting with a good acting coach. Find the acting method that best works for you, and then synthesize like a bunch of different methods. That was something that I've been doing for like 15, 20 years before I ever came to voice acting. Because at the end of the day, a character in anything has to have a secret. They also have to represent something and have a purpose in their own right. so that you as an actor can give a shit about playing them every night, or for 4,000 lines. So when coming to Fuse, it's like, all right, what is his attitude? And it goes deep. Like, it's what is his attitude to this map? What is his attitude to this other character? And every character you have a different relationship with, because drama is all about relationships, right? So it's like, how does he feel about Caustic? If he's giving this Caustic line, if I'm rezzing Lifeline, how does he feel about that? If I'm rezzing Bloodhound, how does he feel about that? And then the voice director is like, oh, actually, Bloodhound and Fuse are actually good mates. And here's the line. Now that interprets whether it's like, come on, mate, get up. Don't be a drongo. Come on, get up versus oh, come on, mate. Come on, get up. It's just the tiny degrees of difference, but it just makes all the difference to engross people in a game. Who's that? Is that your little one?
That's my little one. He just woke up.
What's his name again? Emmett,
yeah. It looks like you started a little war in the chat, man. They're arguing about almond milk over oat milk.
Oat milk for coffee, almond milk for
Ruger, move.
I don't know. Almond milk's all right. I make my own almond milk sometimes, but that Oatly that you have here is like next level good. Get the chocolate Oatly. It's a game changer.
I feel you, buddy.
Bring him on.
Oh,
good. Hello. G'day.
Oh.
Hello. He's like, shut up.
Yeah, basically. He's like, who is this? This is your this is your dad's famous friend, okay? Go get your mama then. Go on.
No such thing as fame to kids, my man.
Oh, bro. Oh, well. Holy shit. This went better than I thought it would. So,
okay.
We're on the 51-minute mark. I don't want to take up too much time. I want to try and keep this under an hour. So, one last thing. What do you think we can expect this season?
I mean, that seems to me to be relatively obvious, like in the title of the season. It's mayhem, right? So there's a lot of fast-paced, frenetic explosions, big brain plays between alts. His meta is just like, it's complementary meta. Like, it's any other legend can link with Fuse and you get a really interesting result. We've got new map, we've got new LTMs, we've got new character, a new gun, so that's going to change the meta. I mean, I think even just like broadly speaking, Apex, I think I was looking last night, Apex was like on Fortnite's tail for being like the most watched Twitch thing. And I just think the work that they're doing to bring more people back to the game, they're really working hard on, getting some, getting their servers sorted, getting like some of these other, like their release schedules, like to reduce bugs during a pandemic, have already been pretty good. Like, they get harshly criticized for it, but like, hey, everyone's working out.
I'm about to say they've been killing it during the pandemic. They released 2 different seasons in half of one season while in a pandemic and almost all working from home. That is insane. It's insane, one, because of the work ethic that it goes into. It shows that the people that work at Respawn and EA have an amazing work ethic. Because even during the pandemic, they could be like, "No, I'm just gonna go home and chill and just I'm gonna say I work, but I'm just gonna watch some Princess Diaries or something." But but it also shows the dedication they have, not just to the game, but to the players of that game.
Well, the Pathfinder book just came out, the lore book.
Oh yeah. They did my boy Octane dirty.
The project that I'm working on is like another realm altogether. It's coming to Switch, so it's going to be on Switch. It's going to be on mobile. Whatever that means. So I think what you're looking at is season 8, the birth. It's sort of the birth of. And they're talking about season 9, 10 being bigger and better as well. But I can't look at the Respawn team, the voice actor talent. And how close they all are and how welcoming they were for me. I can't look at that team, the writers, and then the content creators. And I know the content creators grumble, but like they've got, that's their tool set for like making a living. I get it. I totally get it. But it doesn't mean they don't love the game. And I just think the love of this game, you're looking at Japan blowing up, you're looking at China blowing up, you're looking at like international markets just like falling in love with this lore and these characters. And I just think it sort of seems like it's just beginning in a weird way. And it's like 2 years old. Like, I think this season we can expect to see, I really do feel like this game's going to break into the mainstream in an interesting way. Maybe. Let's talk in 12 weeks. But yeah, I think this year and this season are gonna be explosive.
Oh, so one wait. All right, I have one main question, and then I have like a little side question, and then we'll call it, and then we'll play a couple rounds, bro. If that's fine with you.
Of course.
Prince, why are you going to ask about the next Legend when Fuse just came out? What do you mean? So the main question: how does it feel like being part of something where you have all these kids and all these other people looking up to you? Kind of because, like you were saying a second ago, Apex is like right on the tails of Fortnite, and I feel like the main reason is because Fortnite came out and it just came out first. Honestly, if Apex would have came out like a little bit sooner, I feel 100% it would have blown up 100% more than Fortnite. Like we got this, Apex got the same amount of views and plays and streams in the first week that Fortnite got in the first couple months. So I definitely think that Apex is going to blow up a bit more than Fortnite. But how does it feel with like all these people looking up to you as being a legend and being part of this massive community?
That's a tough question because on the one hand, you're like, life goes on and we're in the middle of a pandemic and like it's just a video game. But on the other hand, I'm a gamer. I'm like, no, it's not just a video game. And like we spend a lot of time investing in this lore and investing in this universe. And as a species, since like someone painted something on the side of a cave, we've looked to story in order to inform how we live. And so how does it feel? It's like an opportunity. Like I've always tweeted about the things that are important to me. I preach love. Like I preach like acceptance and tolerance. I preach like people following their passions and letting it kill them. I preach like I'm as altruistic as I can be for an actor, right? Because I still have an ego and whatever, right? But I think it feels good to have a platform. It feels good to have a platform to say to people of all ages, predominantly younger though, hey, here's something to think about. I defend to the death your right to have an opinion on this thing, but here's what I think about it. And if that sways someone either way, preferably to the way I believe life should be lived, then that feels like an opportunity. And so I really do feel over these last like couple of months, I've been building up to like take advantage of this opportunity. And hey, it's just a video game, but it's also not. So it feels wonderful. Like it feels, and on the flip side, I'm also a father again, right? So I'm sort of giving birth to
Dad 3.0.
Yeah. So you know, Fuse and my little one, her name is Yoko. You know, they're two characters who like were born in the early part of 2021. This time of like, all right, let's get the Roaring 20s going. Let's like,
my headset just went out.
Yeah, let's just you right? I can still see you.
I think my headset just went out. I don't know if you can hear me, but I think my headset just went. You can hear me?
Yeah, so I can hear you.
Okay, I think my headset just went out. So on that, we're actually going to call it right now on the stream. Thank you so much, Ben. Thank you so much for coming in and doing this interview. It's you have no idea how much it means to not just me, but probably to anyone that ends up watching it. You probably answered a lot of questions. Yeah, so let's go ahead and take it over and play some Apex, man. Let's go over here and get some dubs. By the way, Devo said that it's going to be our mission to make sure that we get you to plat this season, bro.
Yeah, all right, let's do it. Let's do it.
Thank you guys all for coming in to the interview. We're going to go ahead and hop over and play a couple games at Apex, and then afterwards we're going to call it a day. I'm going to let you go. I know you got some father things to do, buddy. All right. Thank you guys so much, and we'll see you over in the lobby. Bye.
See you, mate.